what's up, guys? We're talking about why is Metallica and Black Sabbath looked at as the two most influential bands of all time. What I mean by that is, when you play guitar, why is it everybody always says, can you play Metallica and can you play Black Sabbath? And they usually talk about one or two songs. They always talk about Enter Sandman and Iron Man. Enter Sandman and Iron Man. They don't talk about, like, can you play Disturbed? Can you play Pantera? Can you play Kiss or anything? No, it's always Metallica and always Black Sabbath. And the reason why I say this is, when I was in high school, first learning my bass guitar, and this was about 2003, and I brought my bass guitar to school, and they were like, hey, can you play Metallica? And I was like, yeah, I know one Metallica song, because that's when I was just a very, very beginner, and I haven't played for more than like 2 months at that time. And I was like, yeah, I know somewhat of For Whom the Bell Tolls, and I didn't tell them what the name of the song was. And I turned on my little Marshall amp that you could hook up to like your belt, and it had a little bit of distortion, so it was pretty much a guitar amp, but I was using it for my bass. And I went do 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 do, and they're like, "Come on, dude! I said Metallica, not what you're playing." And some other kid comes up and goes, "Dude, you is playing Metallica," and they're like, "Is that a new song?" And the kid goes, "No, that's a song from like the 1980s, dude." And he goes, "Oh, I don't know anything besides the Black Album, really." And I was like, I don't. And then when another kid comes up and goes, "Can you play Iron Man?" I'm like, really? Do 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 do. Those are like the two most ironic songs in metal or just in general that people always want you to play. I don't know what it is about those two songs, but let me know if you can explain to me why those two songs are the most influential songs out there in music. It's always Enter Sandman and it's always Iron Man, and they always want you to play those two songs and those two bands. It's never anything else. Never. You never hear somebody just randomly come up to you, "Hey, can you play Cannibal Corpse?" or "Hey, can you play Michael Jackson?" You don't hear that, and I'm just wondering, what is it? I know those two bands are really good. I know Metallica is pretty good. I think Enter Sandman is one of the worst songs ever written. Maybe I liked it when it first came out or when I first heard it, but me personally, I think it's a played out song. It's one of those songs that I can't ever listen to. Like, every time I hear a live performance and I hear that song, I skip it because it's one of the most played out songs, and I just not really a fan of it, you know. But I could say, why don't, when people say Metallica songs, can you play a Metallica song? It's never the Kill 'Em All days. It's never Ride the Lightning. Can you play Fire with Fire, Fight Fire with Fire? Or can you play Battery? It's never that. It's always, can you play Enter Sandman? And is it because the Black Album is one of the biggest albums that's ever produced in metal, and only people know Iron Man by Black Sabbath, and they don't know MIB, they don't know Paranoid, they don't know, what is that song, Sweet Leaf, they don't know any of that. Those are all great songs, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're a beginner guitar player, don't be surprised if your friends ask you to play Metallica or Black Sabbath. I'm just asking you as a real dude, why do people always ask you to play those two songs? And you can't tell me just because they're the best two songs of all time when it comes to metal, because you got Walk by Pantera, you got The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson, you got Back in Black by AC/DC, Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin, and Pink Floyd's The Wall. Like, you know, those are all amazing songs and CDs, but nobody ever chooses any of those songs. So just wanted to ask you guys that quick question, and I will definitely see you guys in another podcast coming very soon. I might be doing audio podcast, just uploading them right now. But if you don't like the audio podcast on YouTube, just let me know, because I think it's sometimes easier than doing a HD video, than editing the video, than throwing the video up to YouTube in the highest quality, because that takes a long time to edit and upload, you know. And I produce a lot of videos for you guys. I fucking put out a lot of tremendously good videos. I try to put a lot of content out there because I think you guys enjoy the content. I try to talk about the latest and greatest stuff, and I'm just loving music, man. I just heard Disturbed's Sound of Silence, like a live performance. That song still gives me chills, and I just listened to Simon and Garfunkel's version. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I think Simon and Garfunkel did a hell of a good job because they wrote the song. They wrote the song back in 1964, so it has to be good. But it's one of those iconic songs. When you hear it, it gives you chills. Like, I'm not really a fan of the Nevermore version. Like, the Nevermore version was a very sped up, like, melodic, like heavy song. It was heavy as hell. And I just think for that kind of song, it needs to be acoustic. It needs to be slowed down. And you got to have the vocal range. And I know the singer of Nevermore has a very good vocal range and can play his ass off and can sing his ass off. I think if he would have done it like an acoustic format, it would have been a hit. It would have been a very good hit. I think if Disturbed would have done it in the typical Disturbed fashion when they do cover songs and amp it up, I don't think it would be as chilling, as great. Because I'll break it down like this. A lot of people who don't even listen to Disturbed, I'm finding out, are hearing this song for the very first time, and they're like, damn, this song is giving me chills. And they don't really know who Disturbed is. My uncle, who doesn't listen to metal music, and he posted something about Simon and Garfunkel on Facebook, saying, oh, this song was one of the best songs he's ever heard. It was one of the very first songs he's ever learned on guitar. And when I went out there and posted the song, I said, hey, you need to check this cover out. He was like, damn, they did a really good job. Like, he respected the fact that Disturbed did a good job. He said they didn't, like, mess it up. They did it in their own way. But Disturbed sung, like, David Draymond sung his ass off. And you could definitely tell in his vocals that he really has a lot of passion in his voice. And I'll say this. When you hear David on the album, the funny thing is if you listen to Loudwire, they actually say he was high when he made that song. He thought it was just going to be an amped up version. And their guitar player, Dan, was like, nah, we should slow it down, pull out the piano, and do it that way. And everybody was very, very shocked when they heard David's voice. They were like, damn, you hit it out of the ballpark. You hit a home run, baby. The bottom of the ninth, smacking a home run. And that's what I think he did. I think if Simon and Garfunkel actually heard this version, if they probably already have, they definitely got it. They probably definitely got respect for Disturbed for really playing that song, because Disturbed is known for playing heavy music, and I've always said David Draymond knows how to play it safe and play it good. He's a good live performer. He's good on his records, but this song, he hit it out of the ballpark when he played it live. A lot of people are saying the live performance is better than the actual album performance, but that's just some of the stuff I want to talk to you guys about today. Did David Draymond and Disturbed do justice on Simon and Garfunkel's Sound of Silence? And do you guys like the Nevermore version, the heavy amped up version? I just can't get into it, man. I like it, but I just don't get into it as much as I do as Disturbed. But as always, remember to like the YouTube channel, subscribe, and I'll be definitely pumping out more videos and podcasts and stuff to come. Just remember, looking forward to trying to bring you Rockville, the documentary, coming in May. I'm going to be producing it, bringing it out. I don't know exactly what camera I'm going to use because I'm going to a concert, so I really can't bring a good camera out there. So I might use my Samsung Galaxy S7, which does 4K resolution. And I might try to pick up a little microphone that I can use at the show, like a shotgun mic that will be able to pick up good audio when I'm interviewing people or just talking to people. Because all I want to do is ask people how they like the performances, what does the damn concert mean to them. And as a music man myself, I love going to shows. And here where I live, Rockville is only one show. That's the only show we get. So a lot of kids out there, they save up all year just so they could buy a Rockville ticket to go see 20 bands or 2 or like 5 bands that they like, and then they go home and then they wait all year, because Florida is not known for having a lot of high energy metal concerts to come here. It really, there isn't. Like, I looked at the concerts coming up with Slipknot. They're not even playing in the state of Florida. I looked up Killswitch Engage, not even playing in Florida. So I don't know if Florida is not a hotbed for music, or if metal is not on their list, because you go online and look for a lot of bands that perform here. They perform here like Rockville, and that's it. That's only one concert they perform at, and then there's no other metal festival. So if you miss out at Rockville, you're missing out at the rest of the year, not seeing any bands unless you travel outside of the state, which sucks. But it is what it is, man. You can't argue paying like $50 to go see like 10 or 12 bands. That to me is very, very worth it. But you got to say, on the other hand, when you're seeing 10 or 12 bands, you only get to see the band for maybe like 20 minutes, because they'll play like 4 songs and they're gone, because you got to keep consistently getting other bands out there, because the concert starts at 11 a.m. and it goes to 10 p.m. at night. So you got to keep getting all these bands out there. And yes, there's going to be bands that perform there that I don't know, that I don't care about. So when there's bands that you don't care about, you just go out and chill, and you have a beer, or you go eat, or you just hang out and relax. So you're not sitting in the constant sun and burning your ass off. That's one thing I don't like, because they should be doing it in the middle of May, because May here in Florida is like 90 degrees with like 80% humidity, so you're just sweating your ass off. And that's what I don't like about this Rockville. They should be doing it like right now, like March weather, where it's like 65, 70 degrees out, where it's not super humid. So if you go to a concert, you're not going to just be burning all night from the heat. And that's one thing, like I said, I love going to these festivals, but I just don't like sitting out there in the phenomenal heat. If you've seen how I was at Rockville 2014, 2013, I was definitely burnt to a crisp. I was almost at the color of ketchup. That's how bad I was. And that year, I didn't even bring suntan lotion, because I was like, I totally forgot. And I was assuming, okay, maybe they might sell it in the venue. They didn't sell that shit. They need to be selling that, because there's so many people walking around that are burning. You know, white people like myself, I burn, and it's ridiculous. So a lot of times when there's bands and stuff that I'm not caring about, I'll go sit under a tent or sit somewhere in the shade, because I don't want to just sit there and get crisply burned. So, as always, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and this is Trevor, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.